Hello viewers and welcome to a brand new episode of Trashtalk on Heavy Gear 4th edition, a series where I talk about the various gears and vehicles you can pilot and drive around in the heavy gear universe. In this episode, I will be talking about the NuCoal gear and other things. NuCoal, or New Coalition, is the youngest power on Terra Nova that was founded as an economic collective between various Badlands city-states and Port Arthur, a city-state built and ran by the remnant of the first Earth invasion force left by the CEF during their hasty retreat. It's also helpful that Colonel Arthur, who leads the city, denounced Earth, because of the whole leaving behind half of what's left of the invasion force on the planet thing. So yes, the New Coalition is literally a new coalition. Peace River also found NuCoal to be an eyesore, as it managed to do in decades what Peace River has spent centuries on to reach. Border skirmishes between the two is frequent even in peacetime, which is very funny because Terra Nova is as big as Earth, meaning they would have to cross a distance of 10,000 kilometers at minimum just to beat up each other for a border that might as well be invisible when viewed from above. That basically sums up Terra Nova political relationship in a nutshell really. When the second CEF invasion started, CEF loyalists embedded in Port Arthur kick-started a civil war, and Colonel Arthur found that he alone will not be able to overcome this, and thus, he asked aid from other NuCoal city-states for help to take back Port Arthur. So with the power of friendship, local sand people, and a lot of violence, Port Arthur Corps was able to take back the city and then executed every single loyalist with a bullet to the back of their head. Problem solved. Then Colonel Arthur got assassinated. This is where the current storyline ended. Anyway, let's take a look at their gears, but before going down the priority list, let's check out what sponsor bonus you get from signing up with NuCoal first. Like Peace River, NuCoal can take export options from North and South, but they also have license to produce many gears locally like Wildcat, Copperhead, and Boa, filling niche NuCoal cannot fill with their exclusive gears, which is good, because NuCoal list is kinda thin. There's also other locally produced licensed vehicles like VTOL, aircraft, and even the South brand new hover tank, the Hitiroi. NuCoal also produces some CEF designs too, like the TAAF 54 fighter craft, and the Grill hover bike, and being the remnant of a CEF invasion force, they do have some leftover hover tanks, though I'm pretty sure they prefer to keep those to themselves since they can't exactly make more of them anymore. You can also turn any rocket pack into a gun, either the normal, incendiary, or anti-personnel variants. This requires you to spend one space to add in the auxiliary stat, but you now have a rocket gun with wide AoE that you can reload. What's not to like? Now, let's take a look at the priority list. Starting from priority 1, you get Chasseur and stripped down Chasseur. The Chasseur exemplifies what to expect with NuCoal, top-tier mobility. The Chasseur has a hover motive system with a speed of 9, which is lightning fast compared to many gears you will face on field, let alone other starter gears. Its only drawback is that it is more fragile than other priority 1 gear, 6 hull integrity instead of 7, and it's not like the higher speed makes you harder to be hit either. What the higher speed does is that you have more options to move compared to your opponent, usually, and the Chasseur variants fully take advantage of its speed, as other than the usual autocannon armed variants, every single other Chasseur variant is armed with short-range but powerful options. It's hard for other things with slower speed to use these short-ranged weapons, but that's not a problem at all with the Chasseur. It can just go in and murder everyone before they even realize it. There's even a variant with field mortar, so a full squad of Chasseur can easily support itself, and as if that's not bad enough, Chasseur can be upgraded with jetpack to jump over even buildings. This thing really has all the mobility that you ever need. And for Commander, the Chasseur Com Suite upgrade also has ECCM to counter a warfare attempt, which is good because NuCoal often butt heads with Peace River that like to put ECM on everything. Stripped down Chasseur is for the insane that wants even more speed. In exchange for less armor and lack of rocket pack, there is a recon variant with recon sensor, so it can be good for scouting too. At priority level 2, there's just Lancier. This thing is a mountaineering gear, designed to climb up straight wall like nothing else. Its grappling hook could even be used as melee weapon in a pinch as a linked medium spike gun, which is good because this thing has Brawler 1, it's a melee unit basically. Its speed, armor, and toughness are all quite decent too, with +1 at piloting to be better at brawling and dodging, and instead of a rocket pack like most thing, the Lancier has heavy Panzerfaust, a short-range weapon with great armor-piercing punch, and if that's not enough explosive, the Lancier has variant armed with medium rocket guns instead for more boom. Great for anyone that likes climbing up somewhere and rain explosives downhill. Also, low maintenance, always a good thing out on the field. At priority level 3, there's Chasseur Mark II and Chasseur Paratrooper. The Chasseur Mark II is an improved version of Chasseur, with +1 piloting and early warning system for much better survivability, as well as having jetpack already integrated. Other than that, there's not much difference, besides the fact that this thing might be a hangar queen, and it has a very lethal variant armed with light particle accelerator, perfect for when the CEF comes knocking on their front door. The Chasseur Paratrooper is instead airdroppable version of the Chasseur. Like most paratrooper gear, the basic Chasseur PT variant is armed with a light autocannon light grenade launcher combo weapon, and also a light spike gun, can also be upgraded for jetpack and ECCM suite like the basic Chasseur. Nothing special, just reliable. Skipping straight to priority level 5, you get Cuirassier, Chevalier, and Jerboa. The Cuirassier is basically the NuCoal equivalent of Jaguar and Black Mamba, a high-performance strike gear that's just good at a lot of things, and has like nothing unique about it compared to other gears in similar class. Which is very funny because that is its whole point, that local Terra Novan recruits are too confused by the hover system of the Chasseur and its many variants, so Port Arthur just made something with a standard motive system, with no special flair, and just called it a day and everyone loved it. At least you can still upgrade this thing with satellite uplink and ECCM suite for commanders I guess. The Chevalier is a fire support gear that's rather different than most NuCoal gear. It's slow, but well protected with 8 armor, though it's more weighed down by the sheer amount of ordnance it packs, whether that's rocket, guided mortar, field gun, or missile. Also has quick response system to aid it in destroying targets. 2 variants stands out from the rest. Chevalier Hammer has a heavy rifle and light field gun, really living up to its name as it hammers down armored foes hard at range, while Chevalier Spear has a ridiculous amount of rockets, either a linked medium rocket pack or guided rocket pack, emitting a radius of death within 180 meters. Every single variant also has linked heavy machine gun, very good against infantry or even weakly armored gears, can be upgraded for ECCM2. Then there's the Jerboa. Yes, NuCoal really named a gear after this tiny little thing, and it's quite fitting because it's tiny and very mobile for being essentially a rocket with legs. It has 9 speed, it has jetpack, it also has 4 armor, so the last thing you want is to have this thing get shot at. It's a recon gear, you are definitely not supposed to be anywhere near a fight in this thing, and although it has a medium rifle which can be switched out for other medium weapons with more dices to roll, its poor gunnery is not gonna give you a lot of opportunities for a good shot. Instead, rely on its extended sensor range and use the electronic on board to support your allies or wreak havocs on the enemy. Jerboa Flash is especially dangerous due to having elite sensor for a 36-inch range in blitz mode, plus target designator and advanced ECM suite. Every variant also has integrated comm suite too, good for encrypted communication with recon sensor, and also good for commander to order around too. Skipping to priority level 7, there's Jerboa Paratrooper and Tyrailer. Jerboa Paratrooper is just Jerboa that can be airdropped. It has less firepower, lacking rocket pack, not that it matters much since Jerboa can't aim, and has less e-warfare capability too. You can either choose a variant with advanced ECM suite for passive protection, or one with ECM suite and target designator to call in fire support too. The standard weapon can also be switched out for others options, just pick what you like. Every option here gives you more dice to roll for, unlike the rifle with Jerboa. The Tyrailer is another high-performance strike gear, this time, one with armor jacket on to protect the crew and make it even tougher, giving the Tyrailer 9 hull integrity, 2 from the jacket. This plus the early warning system makes the Tyrailer a very survivable gear. It's mostly armed with medium class weaponry, though some variants stood out compared to other, like the one with medium particle accelerator, tying this gear to the root of Port Arthur, good at knocking out targets too, and one with heavy frag cannon that will blow big holes in anything. The Tyrailer, like most high-performance gear, can be upgraded to be airdroppable, and like most NuCoal gear, can be upgraded for ECCM suite. At priority level 8, there's just the Arbalestier. The Arbalestier is the NuCoal equivalent of Kodiak and King Cobra, their own monster gear that is packed to the brim with ungodly amount of ordnance. Every single variant is armed with handheld guided heavy rocket pack, a medium guided mortar, and either linked medium rocket pack or medium ATM. Any target that got called in within the firing range of this thing will be dead very soon. Add an advanced control system to double the payload in a reaction fire, and the target will be dead twice as fast than usual. It's also lightning fast for a heavy with hover and speed 7, and still has 9 armor. However, this thing also only has 6 hull integrity, which is low for something this big. You can take hits, but you probably don't want to, and instead just focus on delivering hot deaths with all the explosions. The most surprising thing of all is that the Arbalestier can be deployed from the air, meaning this thing can go behind enemy line and just surprise everyone with all the missiles. This thing also strangely has a free hand slot with 4 goddamn slots. There's a lot of lethal weapons you can put in that hand with that many slots, but you also gotta remember that Arbalestier has other existing handheld weapons that can fill in that hand in each variant too. It was frankly a confusing mix in some variants. Each variant of Arbalestier also has heavy Panzerfaust, in case all other options has failed, plus a light machine gun and light APGL for infantry deterrent. No matter what, you are definitely not lacking in options with this thing. Then at priority level 9, you get Espion, which looks like something straight out of Espion is a spec ops gear, a stealth gear with built-in early warning system and ECCM suite, making it well protected against any kind of threat. It's fast, has 6 armor, and its weapon list is quite effective. The base variant has a silenced medium rifle for long-range attack, but there's more dangerous variant too, one with medium rotary laser to cut things down up close, and one with light particle accelerator to shut things down. Finally, at priority level 10, the last level, you get the Hussar. This thing is the worst gear strider in the entire book. The reason why they put it at priority level 10 is not because it's good, but because it's a museum piece that they don't want idiots to ride in and then get exploded. It has decent speed, 10 armor, tough enough for most weapons, which it will need because it has negative piloting, and negative E-warfare, not even a positive at gunnery, it's just 0, and over here looking at its equipment, you can immediately see that this thing has no advanced control system, making it even less effective compared to the other gear striders. It also only has 4 weapons, though in this case, it's a plus. All other gears striders seem to have a bit too much guns. In all its variant, it has an automatic heavy machine gun for anti-infantry, heavy rotary cannon to deal with everything else, plus a heavy vibroblade as a bayonet, with Brawler 1, so anyone that gets too close will be in danger. At its top is a turret to house its main weapon, whether that's linked light field gun, linked heavy rocket pack, linked heavy air burst missile, linked flak heavy rotary cannon, that's just a lot of DACA, or a single heavy tank gun. All these options punch really hard. It's just that compared to other gear strider, the Hussar lacks a lot of equipments that make it more survivable, and the lack of advanced control system really impacted its performance. It really said much about how this ridiculous thing is still the worst of all gear striders despite how powerful it is. Gear strider is really just kinda bullshit. Honestly, I won't even be talking shit about it this much if it just looks like a normal looking tank instead, which half the time, it is. Like their root, NuCoal has no fucking clue why anyone even needs striders and just keep using tanks like normal people, and they use a lot of it. Voltager for a conventional heavy tank that can take the beating, and Fusilier for a locally produced light hover tank that can go anywhere fast. Pretty sure the only reason why they even have the Hussar is because it looks close enough to a tank, and that's about it on NuCoal, a faction with a need for speed. Yeah, this faction is a small one, it only has enough stuff for an episode, and the rest is probably gonna be like this for the rest of the series. Next episode, we gonna talk about the special forces. Anyway, that's all for now, and I will see you all next time. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe and click that notification bell button. If you want to see the videos early as well as further support my channel, you can join in my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.